season. So we're drinking heavily and joking, and what else are we doing, guys?
We're looking to see what free agents are going to be available, if we can make some trades, the usual stuff.
Yes, the off season.
And it's also award season, isn't that right, Jordan?
It is certainly award season, and Walking Dead is looking good. They just received a Golden Globe nomination.
Jim has the best segues on the show. Isn't that right, Jordan? Speaking of awards, isn't that right, Jordan?
So The Walking Dead was nominated for Best Television Drama, and it's kind of pretty awesome. They were nominated along with several other programs. We're, of course, hoping that they're going to win. What do you guys think of the nomination, guys?
Surprising.
Yeah, I was surprised too, actually.
I'm not too familiar with the Golden Globes. Is there a category besides drama that you would think Walking Dead would be in?
Well, there's Best TV Series Drama, Best TV Series, probably comedy and musical. Or I know.
It's comedy and drama.
Yeah, that's pretty much the split.
I didn't see it getting nominated at all. I mean, it wasn't a category thing for me. I just didn't. It just surprised me that it got nominated.
I mean, it's kind of like, certain genres don't get nominated for Oscars, regardless, of what the award's for. If you're a science fiction, maybe with the exception of the last year, or maybe a great every once in a while, typically, genre films and shows don't get nominated. Well, films, but, a zombie show, when's the last time a zombie anything was nominated for anything?
It should be noted that the Golden Globes are awarded by the Hollywood Foreign Press Association, so they're going to have a little bit of a different perspective than, say, the Academy Awards or something else like that.
I think when you're the highest rated cable television show ever, or almost ever, you probably are due. You know what I mean? Like, I think the people making the nominations are probably going to have to recognize it in some way.
And I think AMC is kind of in the catbird seat right now. I mean, Mad Men is very critically acclaimed. I think the acting and maybe the writing, Jordan, for Breaking Bad has been nominated in the past, if the show itself hasn't. So it's kind of in vogue, I guess, now for a lot of these networks, these non-networks, these cable networks, to get their stuff nominated. FX and A&E, AMC, TNT, all those networks.
Well, here's the thing: it's nominated along with Boardwalk Empire from HBO, Dexter from Showtime, The Good Wife from CBS, and then The Walking Dead from AMC. Boardwalk Empire I've heard a lot of mixed buzz about, and Dexter I know for a fact is a very good show. The Good Wife I don't know very very well at all. But what I was wondering is there's also a separate category for miniseries for television. I was wondering why with 6 episodes it wasn't in that category.
Well, miniseries is generally it's a one-off thing. Like it's 2 or 3 episodes. That's all it's ever designed to be. It's got a beginning, middle, and end. Something like John Adams on HBO a few years ago, or Band of Brothers, The Pacific. But yeah, as far as I know, it's got to have a beginning, middle, and end. It's just one set of episodes. This, it's obviously coming back for a second season. It was designed to be a series, a full series, not a miniseries.
Also, I've noticed that there are only 4 television series nominated in the drama category, and there are 6 nominated in comedy or musical. I mean, I think of a lot of other drama series that should be here, like Justified, Sons of Anarchy. A lot of things that I would think would be nominated that aren't. So it's a pretty tight race with only 4 nominees.
Right. Yeah. They've also been nominated for a WGA, that's the Writers Guild of America, award for Best New Series for this year.
See, something like that I could see. Because it did go gangbusters, and the critics generally liked it, the people generally like it, so something like that doesn't surprise me. But the other one did. Surprised me in a good way.
And finally, in news this week, I have in front of me the New York Times bestseller list for this past week. I've got the hardcover list, and the hardcover graphic books, as it's called, and the paperback graphics books, and I thought we'd go through those. First off, on hardcover graphic books, at number 3, we have The Walking Dead Book 1, which goes for $30. That is the first 12 issues of the series. And then at position number 8, by the way, that one's been on the charts for 12 weeks now, so that's pretty awesome. Breaking in for its first week, Walking Dead Book 3, $35, is spot number 8 on the hardcover list. And The Walking Dead Book 6 is number 9 on the list. It's been on that list for 7 weeks. That's also $35 list price. On the paperback graphics books, number 1, it's been on this list for 10 weeks now, is The Walking Dead Compendium, which retails for $60. We go down a little bit, we have The Walking Dead Volume 1. Now this one's awesome, guys. Check this out. $15, of course. Walking Dead Volume 1, the first 6 issues, paperback, days gone by, it's been on the list for 56 straight weeks.
Wow.
Over a year. And then at the very next spot down, spot number 5, we have Volume 13, which just came out, I believe, 3 weeks ago, and it's been on the list all 3 weeks. That's also $15. So we've got across the hardcover and paperback set, I believe 6 different Walking Dead books, all covering the New York Times bestseller list. So that's incredible.
How many spots are on the list?
Well, they just show you the top 10 in each category. So it could be more, in the 11 to 20.
That's what I'm wondering. You said the Volume 1's been on the list for, a year. What, has it been in the top 10 for a year?
I believe that's how they calculate it. If it's been in the top 10, that's how many. That's the number they count.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's interesting that it's not just comic stores. That's also Borders and big chains like Barnes & Noble, isn't that right? Because it's a New York Times list.
I think that excludes the direct market. I think that's strictly the retail market.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So you add in those, you never know what the list could be.
That's a lot of aggregate sales over time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting. I think Volume 1 trade on the direct market side, according to John Mayo's numbers, is somewhere in like the 150,000 range.
Hey, I just pulled up The Walking Dead Compendium, the big 48-issue book on Amazon, and currently, as of this recording, it's number 88 in the general book bestseller rank on Amazon.
Wow.
Do you know any places where people could get those books, Brad?
And preferably cheaper than they are here on this list?
Yes, absolutely. DCBService.com. How's that for a segue? DCBService.com. You guys have heard us talk about them for a while now. They're pretty awesome. The website is still running their special of 45% off all $2.99 books this month from DC, Marvel, Dark Horse, and Image. Image publishes the Walking Dead comic, $2.99 books. You can get them for $1.64. And if you guys haven't jumped on this, you guys need to get in there and try these books. The code, John, what's the code again? I always forget.
WD8.
Yeah, WD8 will get you an extra 8% off of your first order from DCBService.com.
I know you're looking at this New York Times list with these list prices, and you're like, the compendium $60. Oh, that's kind of cost prohibitive. Or even the trade can seem like a lot of $15, but DCB Service has them a lot cheaper than you're going to find them a lot lower than list price.
They also have, you've heard us talk about, they also have a sister website, InStockTrades.com. If you want to buy a bunch of Walking Dead books all at one time, and you want to buy at least $50 worth of Walking Dead graphic novels, you can buy them from InStockTrades.com. And you get free shipping. Any order that totals $50 or more, they will ship to you for free. So you may have to do some math on this to figure out which website you want to order from. The InStock Trades website maybe just a few percent less than the DCB Service website. And I should clarify, InStockTrades.com does not sell monthly comic books. They sell trade paperbacks. They sell collected versions, whether it's softcover, hardcover, that kind of thing. So if you wanted to buy, all 13 trades of The Walking Dead at one time, you could go to InStockTrades.com. You're going to spend more than $50. They'll ship them to you for free. So you've got two choices on how you want to purchase your Walking Dead books.
And DCBS was good enough, as we've mentioned, to donate some trades, some Volume 1 Walking Dead trades that we've been giving away. I'm going to play a quick voicemail here from one happy winner.
Hey guys, it's Mr. Jackson from Walking Dead TV. This is Cam from San Antonio, and I just call and say thanks for the Volume 1 of The Walking Dead. It hasn't arrived yet, obviously, but I do want to call and say thanks. And you guys are doing a great show. I like the format of it. I thought it was spectacular first season, and I'm eagerly waiting season 2. But I just want to say thanks. So I'll probably call again when the book arrives, and one more time when I finish reading the book. But with that 6issue trade, I can hopefully easily get my wife to read it, who also watches the show with me, and pass it along to, or around to family members who watch the show as well. So, all right, thank you guys. Bye.
All right. So,
John?
yes.
Hasn't he tweeted since then that he, in fact, read the book and passed it on to his wife, and he enjoyed it very much?
Yes, he's spreading the love, and everybody's enjoying it, which is good. That's the goal. And we thank DCBS for the extra copies to continue to do that. And Brad, it's your turn because you have never picked a magic number, have you?
No, I haven't. Let's go for 7.
I have a couple things to say.
My bad.
I added a bunch of people to the list that have left iTunes reviews and mentioned on Twitter that they'd like to read the comics. And I took a couple people off that have won already. So now it's a number between 1 and 24. So now, Brad, you can choose the magic number.
Let's go with 17, baby.
17 is Katie Dark Angel, that's her Twitter name. Katie Dark Angel. I think that might be in the Redis Boondock fan family. So very cool. Katie tweets to us a lot and has a lot of cool things to say. Direct message the WDTV podcast. Send me your address, and we will get you a Volume 1 trade paperback of The Walking Dead.
Congratulations.
Yay.
All right, we have one more bit of news before we get into our feedback tonight. I've got, do you guys know what the Paley Center for Media is? Have you ever heard of that before?
I'm not.
The Paley Center for Media. It was formerly called the Museum of Television and Radio, but you'll often see, if you ever see a panel on a DVD box set where it's 5 or 6 of the stars of the show and maybe some of the writers sitting at a big table. If it's not Comic-Con and they're talking about the show, it's probably the Paley Center for Media. They host big seminars every year, and they interview just the creators and the talent behind different television shows to highlight them and spotlight them. And this year they've just announced for 2011 a few of their panels. They haven't announced all of them, but the 2 big ones so far are a Freaks and Geeks reunion, which I don't know if you guys have ever seen Freaks and Geeks, but it's a terrific show.
I love that show. That's where Judd Apatow, Seth Rogen, James Franco, a lot of people that are in a lot of really great movies now kind of got their start.
Yeah, it's weird to see the Muppet Babies version of all of them. And but the other show that's being highlighted, that's the big one, is The Walking Dead. So 2011, they're going to be at the Paley Festival, so that's pretty cool. And hopefully that'll show up on the DVDs. I know a lot of times if there's a Target special edition or Best Buy special edition, oftentimes one of those extra things will be an hour or 2 hours of the people talking about the show at the Paley Festival. So hopefully we'll get to see this very soon.
Or maybe John can shuffle around the auditorium for a half hour and get in like he did at the panel at Comic-Con.
That's true.
I'm game.
Although I should note that the Paley Festival takes place from March 4th to 18th, so it's not going to end up on the DVD just because the DVD comes out the 8th. But you never know, could show up with season 2, could come out as something separate extra, could show up on the AMC website. We'll let you know whenever we find out more.
Blu-ray Live.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
No, Russ, that would be a good use of Blu-ray Live. They don't have those yet.
So they'll just probably put a little widget on my TV to tell me what time it is and what the temperature is outside.
Yes.
What is the temperature outside?
It's in the 50s here in South Central Texas.
We're freezing over here.
It's 29 where I am.
Jim, how about some iTunes reviews? We'll read the new ones since last show, and then we'll get on with some voicemails and junk.
And we'd like to thank everybody for their great iTunes reviews. We really appreciate the feedback a lot. Just shout out to a few people who left some iTunes reviews for us. 5 stars from TJ Bradley, too. Very in-depth, relaxed, and entertaining podcast. Thank you very much, TJ. Gladys Najar says, going to miss you guys, but we'll keep subscribing. Love the Norman Reedus interview. So cool. Zombie Frida. Yeah, Gladys, keep subscribing. We have a lot of stuff going on in the off-season, which we'll get to later on in this episode. So, don't say goodbye just yet. The guy, Dez, I'm pretty sure this is Dez Reevy from ForumForGeeks.com, says, the guys from Legion of Dudes LOD always produce a high-quality podcast. This is evidenced by the fact that over the years they've been able to secure some high-profile interviews for their shows. The Walking Dead TV podcast is no exception. They've interviewed Robert Kirkman, Bear McCreary, and Irene Singleton, and just last episode, Norman Reedus. And if you missed some of those episodes, by the way, check out our past episodes. We have had some pretty good interviews with the people that put the Walking Dead together. Thanks a lot, Des. From Valkyrie Chick, standing ovation. These guys are great. I wasn't going anywhere near zombies. Well, you don't want to anyway, right? Yeah, that's a good policy, Valkyrie Chick, to stay away. We have one more iTunes review I want to get to from Dr. Mirage, a smash-horrific, action-packed, high entertainment podcast, 5 out of 5 entertainmos. So thank you again, Dr. Mirage, for the wonderful iTunes reviews. And if you would be so kind to take 30 seconds to type out an iTunes review to the Walking Dead TV podcast, we'd be ever so grateful to have that feedback from you.
Yeah, we're inching towards 100. And we're definitely going to give away a Walking Dead hardcover when we hit that. We'll include all the iTunes reviews, people. And we're closing in on 500 on Twitter at WDTV Podcast. And we're going to give away something at that point, too. So it's pretty amazing the speed at which we are growing.
So Dr. Mirage calls us highly action-packed, and PJ Bradley calls us relaxed. I'm not exactly sure how I'm supposed to behave now.
It's a variety show.
Fly casual, Chewy.
But don't look like you're trying to be casual.
Okay, so we have tons of voicemails that have come in since the finale. There's no chance we will ever be able to play all of them on one show. That is the realization. It is just not good podcasting to play 2 hours of voicemails. But we're going to hit a couple at least every show as we move forward. And I am going to start today with this one.
Hey, dude, this is Aaron from Laguna Hills, California. I promised I'd call in, so here I am. The episode tonight, the season finale, TS-16, I like the episode a lot. I didn't quite love it, but yeah, I enjoyed it. I'm going to try and keep this short here. I didn't feel all the suspense that was required for to make us think that all the characters are going to die in this last episode. That's the main factor that kind of bugged me about this. But besides that, I like Jenner a lot. I think the actor Noah Emmerich did a great job with him. I like Shane's performance in this episode. While Shane's not like the most likable character, I certainly think that he has a very interesting character arc, so I'm very interested to see where it goes in the second season. I was also glad that the research showed about zombies didn't lead to any of us knowing what actually causes zombieism, the reincarnation. I mean, that's not what the comic is about, and so certainly the show's not giving us any answers, so I was glad to see that didn't delve into any new theories. So yeah, this episode probably gets a 3.5 or 4-ish busters for me, and the season as a whole gets a good solid 4 busters. So yeah, looking forward to talking.
All right, thank you, Aaron. I also want to mention one reason I want to make sure I played Aaron's voicemail is Aaron did an excellent review of the finale on his blog, and we went ahead with his consent, of course, and put it up on our website. So if you want to read Aaron's blog about the finale, you can check that out on WalkingDeadTV.com. What do you guys think about what he said about not believing that everybody was going to die? I was thinking, when he said it, it made me think, maybe they should have saved Amy for the finale, because we really didn't get a big shock during the finale.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. It was more suspense than shock in the last episode. You know what I mean? Because it was just a very suspenseful, intense situation rather than being the kind of shock like the Amy scene.
Because I didn't really care about, I don't even know her name. Jordan, who died in the finale?
Jackie and Jim. Or no, Jim was episode 4, so just Jackie.
Right. Like, I don't know, Jackie, it didn't really affect me. And maybe it's because I know she's not from the book. Like, it wasn't a character that I really had a lot of time to get invested in. I don't know. Any other thoughts?
Did you guys need a shock for the finale? I mean, does that make a good finale? I don't think it's necessary.
No, it's not necessary. But I guess I'm searching for that Walking Dead feel, which is like anybody can die at any time. And I guess it didn't happen for me. I only really reflected on it upon hearing this voicemail. It's not something that bothered me when I watched.
Well, here's a converse argument to that, though. If anyone can die at any time, then shouldn't people, this is going to sound weird, shouldn't people not die when you expect them to? Like in a season finale, shouldn't those deaths happen at more random places throughout a season?
I would agree with that.
Because if it's all happening in the season finale, well, then you know exactly when people are going to die.
Yeah, I hear you. I guess I'm just kind of programmed to like something huge happening in the finale. And I guess the CDC is huge enough.
It did explode.
Yes, it did.
It blew up real good.
Yeah. In a very minimalistic way. Grenade only blows out one window. Giant, crazy thermonuclear explosion only destroys the building in a 3-foot radius around it.
Hey, it blew some people's hair back.
It got Dale all dusty.
That's my only nitpick.
Alrighty, how about we try this one?
This is Kyle Abear from Burbank, California. Final episode, season 1. Wow, wow, wow. Incredible stuff. And went out with a bang. But yes, indeed. I am so glad they didn't leave the hugest cliffhanger in the world. That would have been just cruel, since we have to wait so long for season 2. But yeah, just incredible performances, so rock solid from everyone all around. As for what was whispered to Rick, I think it was something along the lines of, "Hey dude, your fly's undone." I don't know. Anyway, thanks for rocking the podcast. I've been enjoying every episode, and I look forward to the episode commentaries. All right, peace out.
Rick, why does your friend wear his pants so high?
If Shane's fly was down, you'd like see his nose sticking out. Brad, you were the most critical early on, I guess, of the performances. I guess it was
You're not going to live that down, are you?
Well, he said rock solid performances, so I just wanted to know, how do you feel that they came around or didn't come around?
Well, like I've said on an earlier show, I think a couple of the guys that I had problems with, I think their acting improved. I really started to like Glenn a lot. I felt T-Dog's first appearance was a little weak, but he grew on me. I can sit here and complain about, an acting job, but I couldn't act my way out of a paper sack. So I really don't have a lot to complain about, or I shouldn't complain. I mean, I ended up really enjoying it. Obviously, some of the actors, in my opinion, are better than others, but it never got to a point where I was like, okay, this is just stupid, and I don't believe this person's performance at all. I'll be honest with it. Glenn started that way. In the first episode, or the first time second episode, I guess, when we really got to meet him, I thought this guy's a caricature of all bad acting. But he changed, and he got better, and I really buy these people as characters now.
Do you think he got better, or do you think the writing got better, perhaps?
Well, I don't think the writing got better. I think it was pretty consistent from. I think the best written episode of all was the premiere, but I believe episodes 2 through 6 all had pretty consistent writing. They felt the same. I just think his performance improved.
Cool. Anybody else on the performances? Any comments?
No, I agree. I think it's like anything else. You're starting a new show. It's a new character. Everybody's trying to gel as a cast and as actors and actresses. And I imagine as you start to get comfortable, your performance is going to show that. And I think we definitely saw that. Personally, I didn't have a problem with Glenn from the get-go. So I think I definitely saw an improvement in the way his character developed and the way he handled his character. But I don't think he started from a negative per se.
And certainly in the finale, it helped that they had Noah Emmerich there. I mean, it's already been mentioned a couple times, but he was fantastic. His speech about the human brain and how that works was beautiful. His blow up towards the end was powerful. I think if they can utilize guest stars like that, it's going to only help the show to boost the caliber of the acting and really make us feel for the characters and the situation in general.
There was an article, I can't remember if it was IO9, it might have even been Yahoo. It was like the top 10 scene stealers in television, and Glenn was rated right up there, in that top 10 of characters that just tended to steal. Like they're not in the show a lot, or they're not like a primary or predominant character, but when they're in it, they tend to steal the show. So I thought
really?
that was cool. Yeah.
I mean, I said he improved, but I don't think he got to be a scene stealer.
I think there are a couple times I would agree with that. Where
To be fair, it's IO9. I mean, I'm not bashing IO9 at all, but they're a very specific website, a very specific readership,
Yeah, but there were a couple scenes, when he went on his rant, when he kind of, did his thing about telling everybody how to move around in the tunnels and stuff like that. I thought those were awesome Glenn moments, and in my opinion, scene stealers for those segments.
Or the scene where he stole the sports car.
Yeah, the Challenger.
Okay, Brad, why don't we do some emails before we continue on, so we'll kind of break the show up a little bit.
Okay, the first one is from Gregory Matusik. Hey guys, love the Walking Dead TV podcast. Came across some pretty cool Walking Dead sketches, observations by cartoonist Graham Annable. Thought you guys would get a kick out of them. Keep on breathing, Greg Matusik. Not sure who Graham Annable is. I'll be sure to Google this person and see what Greg was hooking us up with. Thank you, Greg, for that information. Let's see, we got one from Sean Hall. Sean says, just a thought. Hey guys, the most awesome spuds at couchpotatopodcast.com. Turn me on to your podcast. Good stuff. Thank you, CPC. We appreciate, or CPP. Thank you, Couch Potato Podcast. We appreciate that. Theory about Merle.
Wait a minute. Their anagram is CPP?
Yeah, I know. That's why I stopped. And then
That's fantastic.
Theory about Merle. I've never read the comic, so forgive me if this is already known and way off. Did anyone ever think that all those zombies getting all the way up to the camp is not a coincidence? This was my first thought. Daryl said he's going to take some vengeance back to camp. And Merle did steal the truck, so he could have found a way to bait all those zombies in the truck and then drop them off by the camp and possibly guided them the rest of the way by foot so not to be heard. Just a thought. I'm going to pause in the middle of this email and say, didn't we kind of consider that in an earlier episode?
Yeah, I think there was either another emailer or Twitter person that brought that up immediately.
Yeah, and he says he's never read the comic, so forgive him if this is already known. As probably as he knows by now, Merle is not in the comic. The Dixon brothers are not in the comic, so this would be a new thing. In fact, in the comic, when the zombies first show up at the camp, we don't know how or why they showed up there, just that they did. So, but it is possible, and it's something that I think we've talked about before. I wonder how would you guys bait a bunch of zombies and get them to follow you and attack a camp?
Set off a car alarm and a Challenger and drive it right to camp.
You know what? It's probably Glenn's fault, isn't it?
The name of the actor that plays Merle, who's very famous, is escaping me at this time.
Michael Rooker.
Michael Rooker, thank you.
If you had shown up to the Norman Reedus interview, you would know his name was Michael Rooker.
Possibly. Or my short-term memory loss would have kicked in anyway.
That's probably more likely.
That's very high on my list for keeping an eye on when they start signing and casting for season 2. I don't know if he was meant to be like a kind of guest spot thing, but we need to have him back now. We need to have some resolution there.
I want to see Lenny James come back too. I think it's a prime opportunity. They've got that actor to bring him in, give him a full story, and he's awesome.
I wouldn't be surprised at all if we saw him and Dwayne back.
Especially, it seemed like they were building up to that was it the finale that he was talking on the radio, or was that episode 5?
Well, it was before they headed out to the CDC, so that was
right.
5.
Yeah, so it seems like they were building up to that, or at least trying to leave the door open, and I definitely hope that they follow that lead.
Well, to finish Sean's email, he says, also, I'm sorry, but I think everyone was way out of line when it came to Jim and his digging. He was not bothering anyone. Why do people always think they have to take control of people's business and lives? Clearly, Jim had family issues he was working through. They could have left Jim some water and went back to camp. If I was Jim, I would have left the camp after they untied me. That was so unnecessary, and you don't need people thinking the group can just unanimously control you when you're not harming anyone. Once again, just a thought. Sean in Houston. Soldier, scholar, scoundrel.
I kind of think Jim knew, though. You know what I mean? He kind of had that sense that Jim knew what was coming. He knew that he didn't have very much longer to keep control of his senses and not become a zombie. I think he kind of knew what his fate was.
Yeah, and I kind of think the people in camp weren't out of line, especially in light of, hey, there are no rules anymore. Plus, you're freaking the kids out. If I had kids and Jim was going nuts and freaking my kids out, I'd say something to him.
To be fair, though, we never actually saw the kids freaked out. In fact, nobody would even know if Dale hadn't come up and said, hey, I just spotted this from the roof of my RV. Like, no one else knew that Jim was over there doing that until they brought the kids over. Like, I don't disagree. I can see both sides of it. But I thought the scaring the kids argument was kind of weak.
Well, I mean, the kids are going to know, they wander around, so maybe he caught them early. But at some point, they're either going to wander around, or he's going to come back after being gone all day long, filthy, dirty, sweaty, with a shovel in his hand. There's only so long you're going to be able to keep that under wraps.
You don't understand that argument, Jordan, because you don't have kids.
That is true. Thank God.
And I'm very serious about that. I'm not just picking on you because you're.
I mean, I can understand if he was actually freaking the kids out. That argument I understand. What I'm saying is the kids weren't even aware that he was over there until they brought them with them when they went to confront him as a group of 20 people.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of take their word for it that he's freaking out the kids off camera. I mean, they can't show us every detail on the screen. So I just kind of bought it. Like, oh, you're freaking the kids out. All right, you must have freaked the kids out at some point.
Okay, our next one is from Tim Clay. Message from the Midlands, England. Hi, fellas, at Walking Dead TV Podcast. I've recently been infected by the Walking Dead hysteria. I'm hooked. After watching the first episode and loving every second, I immediately went to my city center to buy the comic from a big bookstore. I bought Days Gone By, which is the title of the first trade. Bought Days Gone By, and from having never really enjoyed comics before, was unable to put it down. I caught up with the following 5 episodes and am blown away by the series. I'm now in the unbearable position of waiting until Christmas for more volumes of The Walking Dead because I stupidly asked for them rather than buying them immediately. Thank goodness I found your podcast to fuel my addiction. Love listening to your recaps, emails, tweets, ideas, ramblings, predictions, opinions, etc. Thanks for your consistently enjoyable bursts of Walking Dead discussions. Tim. P.S. As this message reaches you from England, you may have correctly concluded that I have obtained the episodes using less than favorable means. I have every intention of buying the Blu-ray of the series when it is released and just wanted you to know that. Well, Tim, I don't blame you for doing whatever you needed to get your fix because it is a fantastic show. And then we have one more email from Thomas Everett. I noticed that the guy at the CDC gave his name as Edmund Jenner. Interesting historical fact. Edward Jenner discovered the smallpox vaccine. Jenner did this before we even knew about viruses. I don't know if this is a coincidence or on purpose that they chose this name. It could be that he did not give his real name. That's interesting. As you recall, he compared his wife to Einstein and said he's just Jenner. Perhaps he meant he was working in the dark with no real knowledge of what he was up against. Excellent job with the show. I guess I'll have to break down and get me some Walking Dead collections to tide me over until next Halloween. Tom.
I believe you see his name on his name tag.
Yeah, but, I've got a shirt that says Frank on it.
It doesn't have a picture on it as well?
It didn't have his picture on it.
His ID did.
Oh, his ID, of course.
Yeah, the one that he used to drop the blast doors.
No, you're right. You're 100% right. I bet you it's a homage by the writers. That happened a lot in Lost. I'm sure it's already happened in this show with homages to other zombie genre material and Stephen King stuff. So that's my opinion that it was a writer homage.
Yeah, I think you're probably right.
Thank you, John.
I know some of the reviews I read comparing. There was a lot of reviews comparing episode 6 to Lost, just in the bunker, patrolled by a lone guy who thinks he could be the last guy alive in the world, very Desmond feel, and then you add on top of that the Edward Jenner, and it definitely feels very similar.
Thank you, John.
You're welcome.
I just wanted to comment on his last sentence here. He says, I guess I'll have to break down and get me some Walking Dead collections to tide me over until next Halloween. When we started the show, I was discouraging people from reading too far ahead in the book. But you know what? Now, six episodes in, we know that the show it's not similar really at all to the book. So I'm going to say, you guys, if you caught up with every Walking Dead comic that's been published, as the 5 of us have, you're not gonna ruin anything. I think next Halloween. So you may know. You may know what might happen to a character eventually, but the 5 of us are still on the edge of our seats when we're watching the show. So I'm going to encourage everybody, go read as much of that comic as you can because it's a long wait till Halloween.
I am going to play another voicemail.
Hi guys, my name's Colleen. I'm calling from New York. I just want to let you guys know how much I love your podcast. I am really new to I'm new to The Walking Dead, not a comic reader, but I love well done horror, zombies or any other kind, and none of the current torture porn type of movies. But I'm an avid viewer of AMC, and that's how I found it. They did a lot of ads during Mad Men, and I love your recap and insight. Definitely, you guys have insight. It's nice to hear other people's thoughts and speculation as well as comment. And I like hearing after the fact how the story differs from the comic and how you guys go out of your way to not spoil the story. But it's episode 5. Dale, do you think that he knew or suspected the Shane Laurie thing, so it was more than just seeing Shane in the woods there, but knowing that it goes back to the whole Laurie thing? And he seems like a really good guy, and maybe other people in the group had that suspicion as well. I couldn't believe that they left him behind like that with no gun. That he would definitely turn into a zombie. No way to kill himself. I'd be happy if we don't see him again as a zombie in season 2. Your thoughts on that? And I'd also love to see Morgan and Dwayne again. Do you think there's any chance of that? Just great show, guys, and I look forward to what you guys come up with during the hiatus. Hopefully not too spoilery. Anyway, thanks. Bye.
Thank you, Colleen. Okay, let's start with Dale. Do we think Dale has a suspicion of what's going on, and that's why he followed Shane into the woods, or that's what he was thinking when he saw that from the back angle? Yeah?
Yeah.
Dale knows all.
See, I disagree. We haven't seen any evidence that gives us any reason to believe Dale has any idea that something's going on between Shane and Laurie.
Before Ray showed up, they were openly a couple in the group.
No, I don't think they were open.
In the comic,
They were
they were,
open.
but I don't think in the show necessarily.
Yeah, they were stealing off,
They weren't
secretly
even in
into the
comic
woods.
books. I don't know what book you're reading.
They weren't. Well, I wasn't that far, but I thought there was like a general sense that people had kind of figured it out. Like people.
No.
No.
Well, Dale.
Yeah, in the comic, Dale said, "I think there might have been something. You better watch that boy." But
Yeah, 'cause he's the one that first tells Rick in the book.
yeah, yes, you better watch that boy Shane. But in the show, there hasn't been squat.
No, yeah, but Dale's a pretty observant guy. I think it's hard if two people are kind of carrying on like that. They're going to tend to like look at each other a lot. They're going to catch their eyes together a lot. They're going to be mysteriously gone a lot. And for as observant as Dale is, I bet more likely than not, he knows what's going on.
Well, if there had been even just one quick shot, when they would show Shane and Laurie looking at each other, if they had thrown a quick shot of Dale in looking at one or two of them, then I would say yes, I totally agree. But I forget what Dale said when he found Shane. I mean, I know he saw Shane holding the gun on Rick, but didn't he come to the woods to tell them something? Like, I thought he had information for Shane and Rick, like you guys need to come back to camp or something like that.
Well,
I don't remember
first,
that.
he has his exclamation of disbelief of what happened. Shane tries to play it off as a joke, and then I want to say at that point Shane says maybe we should head back now or something like that.
Yeah, maybe so.
I'm not sure though. You could be absolutely right.
I'd like to bring up another point that Colleen made about Jim. Now, in the book, if I'm remembering it correctly, they left Jim a gun in the book, didn't they? And yet in the show, they didn't.
I want to even say, and I haven't read the first trade in a while either, I even want to say that off panel you hear the bang.
I think you're right, John. I think you're right. Again, I'd have to refer to those books again.
You want me to go grab my book real quick?
No, because we're going to do those very issues in the near future.
Oh, yes, that's right.
As for her other parts of the question, we have Jim, we have Morgan, and Dwayne. What are our chances of any of them returning? I don't think we see Jim as a zombie. That's my opinion.
I don't think so either.
I would like to see Jim as a zombie. That would be cool. But what are the chances,
Would you rather see Buster again, or would you rather see Jim as a zombie?
Buster.
Buster.
Now that's 5 Busters across the board then.
No, I think the odds are pretty likely that we'll see Dwayne and Morgan again. At least I hope so. I really like their characters, and I hope they weren't just in that episode and just kind of one and done.
I'm still holding out that we have Morgan and Dwayne heading to the camp, and we have Merle heading to the camp. And I'm still holding out that somehow, they meet up. Maybe everybody goes back to the camp, and Merle's there with Morgan, something to that effect.
I don't know. Merle really is not doesn't play well with others, especially people of a different race.
Yeah. I didn't mean
So
they
I
would
don't
be
think
like.
they'd be all buddy-buddy.
No, I didn't mean they'd be singing Kumbaya around a campfire. I just there'll be some situation, I guess.
I think I think they may have been hedging their bets. So you get somebody like Michael Rooker in, who's kind of a known quantity as an actor, more so than a lot of the other folks, I think. He kind of comes in. He has a very polarizing performance. He goes away, and then you focus on Reedus and his character, who is obviously the brother. So you get that playoff there. So if Rooker's character doesn't work and you send him on his merry way, then fine, no big deal. If if the fans don't like him, whatever. If they do like him, then you worry about it season 2 and you can have him come back. In the meantime, they've developed the Daryl character to be more. We kind of commented this before. That he's kind of integrating himself more in the group. So he's becoming, I think, more attached and less of a butthead to the rest of the group. So if you have Merle come back, I think it would be really cool to see that tension between Merle and Daryl, because I think Daryl's going to kind of lend himself more to the group than his brother, especially if his brother comes back and starts causing trouble. So I think that would make a really cool group dynamic episode if he does come back.
I think ultimately, though, Daryl would side with his brother over the group, even no matter how indoctrinated he gets in.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Based on the last episode or two, I can't say that I fully believe that.
I'm kind of in that same camp, and I was thinking a lot about it when Norman Reedus was even, unsure about, which way Daryl would go, because he's kind of formed a bond with these people despite whether he wanted to or not. He's saved them, they've saved him, and it will be an interesting thing to see. Blood is thicker than water, but he's got some blood with these people now too.
All right, I think we're going to do one final voicemail for tonight. This one's a little bit lengthy, but it gets to a point that I'd like to discuss. So here's that one.
Hey guys, this is Victor from the Exploring Multiverse comic book podcast. I left you guys a message here the other week about the finale of Walking Dead, but I've been listening to some other people talk and seeing stuff online that I just had to call and rant to you guys a little bit more. You're my go-to Walking Dead source here, but it's like obviously I see more comic book related views in my day-to-day action, so I hear more of the comic book fan view of the finale and the whole CDC situation. But it boggles my mind that there's so many people that are like against the CDC event and the whole perspective of what we learned at the CDC. It's almost so in my face. It's like complete fact to me that they put this part in there just to let all the viewers know what to expect for the future. It's like we as comic book fans know the situation because we've been reading so long and we know how the books work. But the new viewers, we got to lock in what's going on. And it's so blatantly obvious to me that the reason they put all the CDC stuff in is to let everybody know these zombies are more or less mindless. You're not like, don't press on the fact that they're killing the so-called human, that they are pretty much dead, to that there's more or less there's no cure. Maybe they got some little itty bitty thing there that maybe somebody out there was working on something. But for the most part, look, there's no cure. Like the CDC does not know what's going on. And to me, it sets everything up for the future. And it's just, I can't believe that there's so many people still going back and forth on this issue because it's just that blatant in my eyes, at least. But overall, I'm so happy about the show. It's so thrilled for it, and I couldn't be happier with what they did. Other than the smallest little details, the nitpicks, I would change hardly anything about the show. Overall, guys, I'm starting to ramble. One last comment, just for all the fans out there. If you're going to be dedicated to the Walking Dead TV podcast, you need to do like I did and program their phone number into your phone. So that's what I did. So, all right, guys, I'm starting to ramble too much, but all right, talk to you guys later. Bye.
All right, thank you, Victor. So what do you guys think of the CDC as like a device to kind of fill in a lot of the gaps quickly for viewers of the show that might have been, I don't know, maybe thinking along the wrong lines, barking up the wrong tree? He seems to think it was kind of like an information dump type of piece.
I think he's not wrong. I definitely think it served both purposes. To be honest with you, when I read the comic, knowing that they went to Atlanta, I always wondered why Kirkman never wrote anything related to the CDC into the book. Because I knew the CDC headquarters were in Atlanta, and we've come to find out that the reason is because Robert Kirkman didn't know that the CDC headquarters were in Atlanta. So I think from a storytelling point of view, it makes sense because of all places you would think would be safe or have an answer or be able to tell you something, it would be the CDC. But to his point of it being an information dump, I agree. I mean, we kind of learned what we either assumed or thought to be true, and it could be to bring in the non-comic readers. I mean, as comic readers, we've become accustomed to the fact that this is a story about the people, not about what's happened. So if that's the case, then when you get to the TV side, these people aren't used to watching or reading the comic. And it may be that this episode served the purpose of giving them that little carrot to lead them on to say, okay, we're not just going to dismiss the fact that we haven't told you how this thing started or any information about how it spreads or what it does or anything else. So I think it's again trying to please both sides.
See, the one thing I wanted to mention was I didn't have the same reaction in terms of what I'm supposed to think now because of what we learned. Like, I didn't get the feeling of, oh man, there's just no cure because they couldn't figure it out at the CDC. It gave me the opposite feeling, like, are they going to start, focusing on finding a cure, which is totally not anything that happens in the book.
I don't think so, just because they also made a point of saying, look, there's nobody left. The closest ones that were able to do it were the French, and they fell. So I think they pretty much set up the fact that we know everything there is to know about this, and nobody else knows anything more, and this is all you're going to get.
I think since the CDC, is in Atlanta and it's more or less commonly known, I was in Kirkman's camp. I had no idea it was in Atlanta, but I think if you're going to be making a TV show, and the city it's based in just happens to have the headquarters of the CDC, and your whole program is about the zombie virus or whatever, you have to address the fact that the CDC is there. So, it's funny when you think about Kirkman not knowing that the CDC was there, and he just happened to pick the city of Atlanta. It's pretty crazy. But I think at this point, the writers realized, well, the CDC's there. We have to address it because if we don't address it, people are going to say, why didn't you address it?
All right, so I guess at this point, we are going to talk a little bit about what our off-season is going to be like. We're going to continue to do what we did here tonight. We're going to continue to play voicemails. We're going to read emails. We're going to look for any news that we can find about the television show. We're still going to be active on Twitter. We're having a lot of fun there still.
Hey, can I bring up a Twitter thing?
Oh, I'd love for you to.
I know that you're, you try to keep the feed active, and that's cool. John was posting on Twitter. I don't know if you other guys know about this. He said something to the effect of, girls like our podcast too. That's pretty cool, or something like that. Let me see if I can find the thread so I can get exactly what you said. That was pretty much, girls like our podcast. That's cool. And so there was quite a bit of response from female Twitter followers. One of which is Fake Six Pack. She says, in response to John's tweet, "Hell yes, Jim has a very sexy voice."
Nice.
Well, thank you, Fake Six Pack. And they do call me the White Barry White. So
yeah, they do.
Right on.
Oh, right. And then some other people chimed in. Regis Lover on Follow Friday. She says, "The boys with the sexy voices, WDTV podcast." There's some really cool Twitter followers. And Fisty LaRue says, "I concur" to the sexy voices comment. We got a lot of Follow Friday mentions. I just think that's really cool. The Twitter followers continue to amaze me.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and it's so cool to. It's almost like a way to do the show between shows, if that makes any sense. Like, you get to interact with everybody, and they usually have nice things to say. And we haven't even gotten any hate tweets, I don't think.
No, I don't think so. I'm looking right now, through our feed, and Mike Sandage, as about 2 hours ago, he posts, "What is the name of the song in the podcast?" And then he quotes "The Sun Ain't Gonna Shine Anymore." It's the one, it's the one that we play at the beginning. I'm drawing a blank, actually, the name of that, so I'm opening my iTunes.
Yeah, you found it originally, I think, right?
Yeah, well, it was in the original 4.5-minute trailer. That's how the trailer ended, wasn't it, Jordan?
Yes, the compound trailer.
Yeah, and I'm trying to find. I think it's called "The Sun Ain't Gonna Shine."
Are we gonna mention what we're gonna do during the off season?
We are. And what we're going to do is this. Like I said before we kind of went off on a tangent, we're going to do the news every show. We're going to read some emails. We're going to play some voicemails. If I hope that we will still get some. I know they won't be as crazy as when there are new episodes to talk about, but we hope to continue to get feedback. Did you find that song, Brad?
Yeah, oddly enough, the name of the group is the Walker Brothers, which is funny. Scott Walker and the Walker Brothers. It's called "The Sun Ain't Gonna Shine Anymore."
So there it is, Mike. And please still, continue to call in 516-468-7912. We're even thinking about having a call-in show, but that's for down the road. We are going to commit to 2 shows a month. They might be every other week. They might be back-to-back weeks if we come up with an interview or something special to do. Please stay tuned for the interviews and stuff like that. Like we said last show, we've made a lot of good contacts. We have some good leads, and we're hoping to have some more talent from the show on in the coming weeks, and that'll be great for the off-season. So we're going to do 2 shows a month. We're also going to start covering the comic. So after we do our news and voicemails and emails and TV segment, we're going to do a couple of issues of the comic every show. We're going to do that through I think we said March or April. And when that DVD set comes out, one of our shows per month is going to be a commentary track for each episode of the show, which basically means we tell you when to hit play, and we are going to hit play at the same time as we record, and we're going to watch the episode with you and make comments and joke around probably and observations and things like that.
We have a lot of fun with those on our other shows on Legion of Dudes. We've done several of those, and I know we have a lot of fun when we do them, just kind of kicking back and relaxing, and there's no edits, so it's a lot more freeform than we're used to.
So that's the general plan. We have some other things that will probably pop up, but basically 2 times a month now through probably next October, and then we might start up weekly again as we draw closer to the premiere of season 2 and get some more news rolling in and some more things to talk about. But please, as we've said, stay subscribed on iTunes if you can. That helps us out with our numbers for sponsorships and just being on the front pages of iTunes and things like that. And look out for us. We're excited about the offseason. We're going to keep having fun. I guess at this point I would like to say happy holidays and happy new year, because we'll probably be back with our next show January 5th through 7th, something like that. So we appreciate everybody listening thus far, and happy holidays, happy new year.
Merry Christmas to everybody.
Be safe.
And I will now send it to Jordan for the boring stuff.
Well, I'll make it as entertaining as possible or as relaxed as possible based on our different reviews. Speaking of reviews, leave us an iTunes review. Go over to iTunes, leave us a 5-star review. It'll take about 30 seconds, and we would certainly appreciate it. I'm going to be giving away books soon, so you can get yourself in the running there. Follow us on Twitter at WDTV Podcast. You can send us an email, comments at WalkingDeadTV.com. That's comments plural, right, guys?
Correct.
So comments at WalkingDeadTV.com. You can check out our other shows, hhwled.com. Check it out. You'll get 2 shows a week from Half Hour Wasted and Legion of Dudes, one each. And we think you'll like those shows too if you like this one. You can always leave us a voicemail at
516-468-7912.
and send us a voicemail. We'll play it on an upcoming show. Leave us a review. Send us a tweet. Send us an email. Get in contact with us. We'd love to hear from you. And we just want to say, until there's no more room in hell and the dead walk the earth, remember, even in the cold and desolate off-season, the Walking Dead TV podcast is here for you. Have a good week, everybody. It was Brad, A, Jim, John.
I purposely made me last so I can't put it up.
That'd be kind of interesting. I wonder what "keep on breathing" means in his salutation. You know what? I'm freaking start all over.
One thing I'm
You
going
had shown up to the crap. What's his name?
Michael Rooker.
Michael Rooker?
No, Norman Reedus.
Okay, I will mention that without making them feel stupid.
Somehow I doubt it. I guess we'll start off. I don't know how many weeks that'll get us in. Jordan, have you mapped this out? You probably haven't, right?
Repeat the question?
I'm busy typing on the Skype chat.
I was.
I know. I can see the little pencil.
Oh, okay.
She said.
Your pencil is showing.
Let me do that over.
Did I map out how many weeks were from something to something?
No, it's okay. I know you didn't. I was stumbling. And
His little putt-putt pencil.
after we do the news.
Hello?
Yes?
Oh, nobody laughs. I thought my mic was muted.